In this video, we'll dive deeper into visual analytics. Visual analytics uses interactive visualizations to gain knowledge and insight from data. I've got a Tableau workbook open, and we've already connected to the Atlanta flight delays dataset. In this video, we have a couple of questions that we want to answer, and this will guide us in our analysis. We want to know what our flight delays look like over time. We have flight delays data for December departures out of the Atlanta airport. Are average delays higher around the Christmas holidays? And are there extreme delays that are skewing the data? We'll investigate both questions. For trends over time, line charts are a popular choice. I'm going to select departure delay in minutes from my left data pane and also select flight date. Recall that you can select two fields by using Control or Command on your keyboard. Then I'll go over to the Show Me button and expand it, and then let's select the type of chart called Line Continuous. I see it here. Instead of summing delays, like I see that it's done by default, let's change it to an average. Let's use the drop-down caret and then select Measure and Average. Now our average delay time is shown, and our average delay over all flights is about 68 minutes. But we want to drill down to investigate further. We can easily drill down further because dates are automatically brought in as something called a hierarchy in Tableau. That means that we can click on this plus sign for the date, in the column shelf actually, and we can go from year to quarter to month and then week. We only have data for December, but if we had more data, we would have seen trends as we clicked on those, and we could have seen trends across years, months, or quarters. But we only have this for December data. Okay, then click one more time to go down to day. This is daily flights. Now we can answer our first question. Our largest average delay is this highest point on the chart, and this is for December 28th. And that's 3 days after Christmas whenever many people are traveling. You can also select Label over in the Marks card, and you can select Show Mark Labels if you like to see that formatting. Let's rename this worksheet as Daily Delays. From experience, I can tell you that when you show a coworker or management a data point like this, they usually want to know why. What happened? What's contributing to this trend? Tableau's Explain Data feature can often help with that. You've probably already noticed that when you hover over a mark in Tableau, like I'm doing now, a helpful box appears to provide more information about the data behind that mark. That's called a tooltip. Click on that mark of interest for December 28th, and then select the light bulb icon from that tooltip. If you hover over it, it says Explain Data. I've noticed that Tableau has been improving this feature and changing it around in new releases of the software, so yours may look just a little bit different than mine. Click on it and expand the area where it notes that this is the average delay is high, and I see that right here. You click to expand, and then I'll also expand this area that says underlying characteristics. It says that we have 4 extreme values out of 468 records. That means we had 468 flights on this day. 4 of these flights have extreme values that are skewing the data. For example, if I look here at the chart, it shows that the top one right here, the one furthest to the right, that one has a delay of 1,135 minutes. That's almost 19 hours of delay, and that's much higher than any of the other flights on this day. In its record details, which are just below, you can see the type of delay that it is. It's a weather delay. I'll go ahead and close the Explain Data guide. Next, let's investigate extreme delays a bit further. The departure delay minutes field is continuous, and it's also numeric, and so a histogram is a good way to look at its distribution. I'll create a new sheet, and I'll call it Histogram. And then I'll select Departure Delays, just the one field in the left data pane, and then go over to the Show Me button, and expand it, and then we see the type of chart called a histogram right here. Go ahead and click it. And then you can immediately see that it's right skewed. The majority of our delays are actually less than 100 minutes, but a few are very extreme and over in this right tail of the distribution. Those bars can be a bit hard to see, but you can hover over them to see the tooltip, and I see one of them here. In a histogram, each bar is called a bin. Tableau automatically creates the bin size for you and places it in a new field called Departure Delay Minutes Bin. And you can see that over under your dimensions. And I see it right here on my screen. And then it'll be used in the columns shelf here. You can select the drop-down caret to edit that field. So select it and select Edit. And then you can change the sizes of each bin if you would like. So I'm going to change the size of my bins from this automatically selected 52 to 15. That's 15 minutes. And click OK. And then you can hover, and the tooltip for each bin will show you the lower bound for that bin. So for example, for this first bin, it has a lower bound of 15 minutes. And that's because flights are only counted as delayed if they're delayed for 15 minutes or more in this data set. So we have no flights that are delayed for less than 15 minutes. For the second bin, if you hover over it, it says 30, and that's the lower bound is 30 minutes. Over on the right, we can see 2 flights. These flights are delayed for over 1,000 minutes. And you can select the mark and then use the View Data icon in the tooltip to see more information about them. And those are those 2 flights if you wanted to investigate further. I'll go ahead and close that. So using the Explain Data feature for our line chart and then also using a histogram, we've answered our second question. Yes, there are a few extreme delays that seem to be skewing the data. Sometimes outliers represent real data, and other times they represent data entry errors that someone made when collecting the data. In practice, it's usually a good idea to investigate your organization's data collection processes to see if you can determine what happened and whether you believe the outliers represent real data or not. Ideally, if there are data entry errors, those should be corrected before we include them in our analysis. This is a good place to end the video, but be sure to save your Tableau workbook.